This is not the dark continent any longer. This is the new dark continent. A majority of African nations today are Christian. A majority of Europeans today say they're either atheist or have no religion. But God is using believers from the mission fields of Africa, Asia, and Eastern Europe, just as early missionaries had prayed for.
In the early 1800s, when European missionaries were going to Africa, Asia, they spoke of a hopeful day in the future.
Dr. Harvey Kwiani, professor of African Christianity and theology at Liverpool Hope University in England, grew up in a Malawi village first evangelized by British missionary David Livingstone. He says what early missionaries had prayed for is something called the blessed reflex.
That there's going to be a reflex in the future when Christians from Africa, from Asia, would come back to strengthen British or European Christianity.
And today, dynamic Bible-believing immigrant churches can be found in virtually every European capital. After years of decline, church attendance in London is finally growing again. But it's not growing because of traditional churches. It's growing primarily because of African churches.
In London, on any given Sunday, over 60% of people who attend church are Black Africans going to African Pentecostal churches.
Just 14% of London's population. They now account for over half of the city's church attendance. After Ireland turned away from the Catholic Church to secularism, there is now fresh fire, thanks to Christian immigrants known as the New Irish.
The Irish came to Africa many years ago and did so much. They didn't just bring a religion, they brought better life, schools, hospitals, and all of that.
Pastor Tunde Oke oversees the Nigerian-based Redeemed Christian Church of God in Ireland, which now has more than 100 churches.
They brought the seed to Africa, and the Africans are coming back here. And for us to come back to Ireland and see Ireland in the state that it's in, it encourages us to do a whole lot more.
The harvest has also returned from Eastern Europe. The two largest churches in Ireland today are both Romanian Pentecostal. Betania Church outside of Dublin is building a new $5.5 million facility on faith. When I talked to the pastors at the construction site, they admitted this has all been a wonderful surprise.
I think nobody came here as a missionary, you're right.
But God had a plan for the Romanians who came to Ireland to work.
Our kids, our generation has the potential, and this is our main purpose as a church, to give and prepare and equip and empower and send this young generation outside of the church.
God's plan, like a big picture, we can see only the small puzzle piece, but it's God's plan and God's way. So even now we make history, but we don't know that we're making history.
Pastor Sean Malarkey of St. Mark's in Dublin says there are now church plants all over Ireland because of the immigrants.
There are churches being planted in little rural towns that could never have been reached if it wasn't for the fact that God has brought in these people. We've been so blessed by the arrival of these new Irish.
And Kwiani believes this new movement in Europe will redefine what it means to be a missionary in this century.
God has a sense of humor, because now that things are getting a lot more secular, God is bringing the harvest back to people that brought Jesus to us.
Dale Hurd, CBN News, reporting from London and Dublin.